Hey, soul family. I am so freaking pumped that the cosmos has connected us. Welcome to my little corner of the internet, my little cave, my lion's den. This space is a chill out zone created for conscious expansion, a safe place to help us live out an inspired life with the highest vibrations. I'm your host, Christy Ann, also known as the Wandering Lioness, and I'm so excited to share these special conversations that maybe will help us do a little inner work, some reflecting, but most importantly, elevate, baby. Welcome, my darlings. I hope you feel connected in the den. My darlings, my soul family, hi. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I'm sure you have me on in the background while you're cooking or cleaning or driving, sipping your coffee, wherever you're listening from in the world. I hope you're having a great day today. And I'm very honored that you've taken the time to listen to my voice, listen to what I have to share, because I do have something really exciting to share today. This beautiful conversation that I've had with the radiant Joie Lee Ruggerio. She is a literal beacon of light, just like dripping and feel good vibes, like the most beautiful aura. She's a Kundalini yoga teacher and celebrity trainer, and she's based in LA. She was raised on Maui, now living in LA with her husband and beautiful boys, who I also had the pleasure of meeting in our chat. They're so precious. But yeah, we had a really lovely conversation, talking about our inner power, our inner magic, the power of manifesting. And she's created a fantastic program, the Manifestation Workout. It's a membership program and it's so great. I've participated in it myself. I think anyone would benefit from this experience. So let's get into it. I'm so excited to connect you beauties with the lovely, the radiant Joie Lee Ruggerio. So, hi. Oh my gosh. I feel like I've known you forever. Like I feel like I know you.
I feel the same way.
Right?
I feel totally the same way. Yeah.
Right? I'm so excited to talk to you today. I was talking to my dad this morning and I was like, Dad, I have this really cool woman on my show today. I'm like, she's a Trekkie just like us. And so we started getting into the conversation about all that. So yeah, I'm very, very excited, very excited. So
if this conversation goes Star Trek direction, I'll be totally stoked.
I feel like it probably will. Well, let's first talk about who you are and what you do and all that goods. I know, feel like I've been kind of Insta stalking you for a long time. I actually connected with you through TikTok, which I don't use anymore, but I found one of your TikToks last year. You were speaking about when we pull our hair up, what kind of energy and how that, helps you focus and all that stuff. And I was just like, oh my gosh, because I do that when I wear my hair wrapped up. And then so I kind of just creeped you and found you on Instagram and just have been, social media pals now for I think a year or so, a year.
Totally. Yeah, I remember exactly. Yeah, because I remember that video and it would have been over a year ago for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know about you, but please share a little bit about your story, where you come from, and how you even got into teaching and all of that.
Yeah. So my story, I was born in Toronto, Canada.
Oh my gosh.
And then
stop.
Yes.
Ontario. Ontario.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Why are we totally karmic sisters?
I know. Okay.
This is so strange. Yeah. So
you said you're from Maui. So I was like, okay.
So I was raised on Maui. So born in Toronto. Well, just north of Toronto, if we want to get real specific, in Keswick, Ontario.
If you're
So I was born in Keswick, Ontario, which is about 45 minutes north of Toronto.
I used to figure skate in Keswick.
What the heck is going on? Jeez, this is so cool. This is why I love the world.
I know. Right? I know. Like synchronicities,
So, oh my gosh. Okay. So then your family is from Barbados originally, or?
No, my dad is from Trinidad.
From Trinidad. Okay.
My mom was born in Canada. She's Scottish. Her background's Scottish. So I grew up and stuff in Ontario. But then now I live here in the Dominican Republic. I'm in Punta Cana right now. But I'm from Canada and my whole family's over there right now too. So yeah.
So perfect.
Okay.
So similar story. I was born in Canada and we moved to Hawaii when I was a kid. So I would say that I grew up on Maui because that's where I paid like the dues of adolescence. That's where I like scraped my knees and like, that's definitely home. And my mother has been a practitioner of Kundalini yoga since the 70s, since it was first introduced to the West. So, we spent our time, like some of my earliest memories of childhood are from the ashram in Toronto on Palmerston, early morning sadhana and all of that. So I grew up with that sort of that language around physicality and movement. I also trained as a dancer from the time I was 3. So my body was quite literally always the temple. Like the way that I move through space, the way that I interact with other bodies, the way that I can sort of like see a movement and then interpret feelings, emotions, sort of, I feel like dance is really a telepathic communication because you're kind of interpreting so much of what the aura is saying by how people are moving. So that was always my spirituality, dance and movement and all of that. And I kind of pushed Kundalini yoga away, at least from like an idea of like teaching it for a very long time because it was weird. Like Kundalini yoga is weird. Like you're like up with your arms in the air and like breathing all deep. And like, as like a kid and a teenager, I'm like, no, I'm going to be a dancer. Like this is not cool enough for me. Right. So then, cut paste to adulthood when actually you really need the technology to keep you grounded. You need the technology to keep you centered with your mission and your destiny. And I refound Kundalini yoga in a way that was very nourishing for me. And this is my son. So fast forward to adulthood when you really need that sort of support emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically. And I refound Kundalini yoga in a way that felt, it just felt right. And it felt nourishing. And it felt like the missing link between what I was experiencing in my career, which is as a fitness instructor, and what I was missing of my spiritual upbringing.
Practice, right? Yeah,
exactly. Because I went into fitness sort of as a way to be perfectly honest, I went into fitness as a way to make money because I moved to New York and I wanted to dance on Broadway and that wasn't working out. And so, I found a job as a fitness trainer and it was like, okay, this is a way that I can move and inspire others through movement, which I believe is what my mission is, inspiring people through movement. I can do that and still feel fulfilled creatively and make money. But what I found in the fitness kind of world was, as much as wellness is very much a buzzword that everybody likes to talk about, it was still like shallow to me and it was still hollow and there was still pieces of it that was like, oh, just do 30 days of squats and then you'll have a great butt. And it's like, there's a piece of this that is so spiritual to me. Exactly. And so devotional to me that when I'm being bombarded with looking at fitness from this lens of just like how great your body looks, it takes the joy out of it. Quite literally. Totally. So my mission has been, kind of since I invigorated my love for my spiritual practice. My mission has been to sort of bridge that gap and teach people who maybe have an idea that physicality can be a devotional practice, that a workout can be a devotional practice, but just haven't had that experience yet, or have had that experience but don't quite have like the verbiage to describe it.
Yes, yeah.
So merging sort of those two things has been my my motivating force for the
I
last
love
several
that.
years.
I
Yeah.
love that. Because I think, yeah, in your Instagram it says giving your workouts a spiritual makeover.
Yes.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And like, because I've done your well, we'll get into the manifestation workout. But what I loved about it was like, as I'm like, I was like, yes, like, you know, with everything that you were kind of saying and kind of guiding through, it was just that, like you said, that perfect kind of bridge to still stay in that spiritual space while you are moving your body, while you are connecting to yourself. And it kind of like minimizes the mental chatter of like things you need to do in the day or whatever, however you might be focusing when you're doing your fitness routine. But to have that boost of that spiritual just magic was just like so fantastic. It
I'm
was
so
so
glad.
fantastic. So like let's, because I know your manifestation workout was a long time in the making. Like it was a long process to really birth that into existence. So what really kind of prompted you from going from, because you were already doing the Kundalini teaching and stuff, plus still doing fitness instructing as well? And then
Yes.
so you just kind of wanted to form something together? Like, is there something specific that
Yeah.
kind of triggered you into the manifestation workout?
That's a really, really good question. So the manifestation workout, I would say, actually predates me deciding that I could teach Kundalini yoga again,
Right.
because I was living in New York. I had burnt myself out. I was in a relationship that was far less than ideal. I was not nourishing my body. It was a really dark space for me in my
Mm-hmm.
life and my career, and I knew I needed to change. And
Mm-hmm.
the only thing that I had was an idea of how my life could feel,
Right.
this is who I could be, this is where I
Right.
could go. And so I decided that I wanted to move to LA. But like I said, I didn't have any real resources around moving to LA. I didn't have the, money saved up to move to LA. I didn't have a job waiting for me in LA. All I had was this idea of like, okay, there could be something else. There could be
Yeah,
something
because
different.
is there something that specifically brought you to LA? Because I posted your quote yesterday, and then I was really reflecting on that because I really would love to explore LA myself. So I was just curious, was there something that, especially how what you said about, yelling it out in the classroom or something, like was there something that specifically prompted that move to LA, or like?
Yes and no. So having grown up in Hawaii, I really was missing the sort of laid back beach vibe. I
Yeah.
think that was the main thing. I wasn't ready to move back to Hawaii. Like I was in New
Mm-hmm.
York and I felt like if I moved back to Hawaii, I would be like taking a step backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And LA just seemed like, okay, here's a city where I can still be social and hopefully have a career and meet people and
Mm-hmm.
have that aspect of my personality satisfied. But I can also have the beach culture. I can also have this sort of laid back, I can see the
Yes.
ocean. I'm
Yes.
just,
Yes.
home's just on the other side of the ocean
Yes.
kind of thing. So it was really just a feeling. And there
Mm-hmm.
was nothing else other than a feeling of this is what it
Mm-hmm.
could be like.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started to visualize what it would feel like to live and work in LA. And I started to chant out loud, i.e. scream out loud, Los Angeles, California, as
Like,
I
I
was
love
moving
that.
my body,
Yeah.
as I was creating and harvesting and exuding this kinetic energy, this physical
Right.
energy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I got to see firsthand, because my move to LA was nothing short of remarkable. I mean, when we talk about all of these amazing stories of manifestation and how specific you can get when you're manifesting,
Mm-hmm.
it was nothing short of remarkable what
Yeah.
happened
Yeah.
between the weeks, of me packing up New York, moving to LA, meeting my husband, getting married, finding a job, having a job actually waiting for me, and then leaving that job, and then transforming that job. And then, it was just, everything fell into place in a way that was just so magical that I realized it was the process of the physical manifestation that was to thank, right?
Right. Right.
And so I kind of always had it in my mind that I could package what I did. If I could just like reverse engineer it and like dissect it, I could package it and I could teach it to someone else because it worked for me.
Yeah.
And there are so many amazing tools of manifestation. I mean, you could just Google it and get 100 YouTube videos of things that work instantly. But this was the thing that worked for me. And so if I can, use my experience just to hopefully help one other person have that elevation of themselves, that understanding of themselves as a co-creator with the universe, I will have done my job, right?
Yeah.
So to answer your question, yes, the manifestation workout, the conception of that goes back 10 plus years. But it wasn't until my rebirth of my Kundalini practice that I really started to see the mechanisms, because one of my all-time favorite things to do is to find similarities between different wisdom teachings, right?
Yes.
Like when you can take a teaching from the Kundalini yoga tradition, and you can take a teaching from the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, and while they're talking about things in different words, while they're talking about it with different verbiage, the wisdom is exactly the same.
Yes.
The wisdom is exactly the same. And so it wasn't until I started learning about Kundalini yoga from this now adult perspective of, oh, wow, okay, so this is what they're talking about. I have experienced that in my workout. Like I know exactly what that means. So now I can package it in a way that maybe somebody who isn't that interested in yoga per se can understand it, because it's coming from now a real world application of the principle. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that. I love that. Because so I'm going to be fully transparent here with my listeners, with you. I didn't complete the program, and I have a real issue with following through with certain things and letting other things kind of, I guess, distract me or pull me off course. So I was about halfway through, and then I went on holidays for about 2 weeks almost. Got completely out of all of my practice, my yoga. I was still meditating, but I wasn't doing my yoga and I wasn't doing the manifestation workout. And then I don't know, I just have such a hard time with, once I'm off track, getting myself back into that place again. So what would be then some advice for people like me that get kind of off course? Because this is one of the things that I admire so much about you, is that you seem so driven, so focused. And I know that you use your spiritual tools to really keep you on track, but for some reason I shouldn't say I cannot, but it's difficult for me to, get back into that place again and in that zone, I guess.
Totally. And I mean, don't beat yourself up on that, because I think that everybody has that to some degree. My experience of it is because when you are in any kind of practice, whether it's a yoga practice, a spiritual practice, a workout practice, you've created a sort of portal, for lack of a better word, of momentum.
Right.
That is like, it's like surfing. So if you catch the energy of the wave, it'll start to carry you. But the second you steer the board the wrong way, or you get out of, you get out of the lineup, you're not in that energy anymore. And so you have to paddle.
Yes.
You have to paddle back in. It takes effort to paddle back in. So I think that that's just part of being human. My advice for anyone who has kind of recognized, okay, I had this going, it felt really good, life got in the way, I fell off, like I want to get back into that momentum, I want to get back into that vibe. My advice would be just start with one thing. Start with the one thing that is easy for you to do. And I think in your case, like you said, you kept your meditation practice up. Even if it's 3 minutes a day, you're doing it every single day, and you're doing it at the same time every day, and you have some sort of ritual around it. And when you can create that space, then it will naturally just sort of grow back into, oh, I like to do my journaling after, I like to have a, you know, I like to do my yoga before. And it's like, it will just sort of naturally blossom back into now the new routine that is right for you. Because the routine that you had before that was working for you before isn't necessarily like, you're not trying to get back there. You're trying to carve the new path, because and it's a teaching in the Tibetan Buddhist system that the path of your enlightenment, or the path of your progression on the spiritual path, is not a straight line, and it's not a circle, it's a spiral. So you're going to come past the same viewpoints, but you're just going to be seeing it from a different perspective now. So don't ask of yourself that your practice look exactly the same as it did. It's going to be different, and it's going to be nurturing for you right now. But that piece of us that says, oh, it's okay, I can skip it today. Or, you know what, I'm going to be doing this, so I better not, you know, do my yoga or whatever. That piece of us is a really good, it's actually it's good news that you have that piece, because it means that something in you is shifting, something in you is changing, because you know, I think it's the cognitive dissonance, they call it, which is that principle that you like things as they are. So when things start to change, when you start to grow, some part of you needs to come in and say, oh, no, let's keep things how they are, please. And put the brakes on the practice, or put the kibosh on the thing, because your subconscious mind knows that you're about to break through, right? So that's what I always try to get to. Like, if I feel like, oh, maybe I just sleep in today, it's always like, that's when I know I need to put the gas on a little bit more, because that's when the real fruits are going to come. Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely going to give it another try, because my intention, the thing that I was trying to manifest, that I was focusing on, was this podcast. So starting that workout put me in this mindset to really start to focus on, okay, I really want to bring this into my reality. And so that was my focus while I was doing my first couple of weeks, and then fell off, but I still was using the tools that I had learned from what I, had participated in, and just the inspiration, the energy that I received from you, and really put that into this project. So I do.
Here we are doing the
exactly right.
Oh,
so I do want to get back into it. I know that it's a powerful tool to use. You'll have to actually, if you wouldn't mind, maybe explaining the actual workout itself, so that
sure.
Understand, what it's entailed.
Absolutely. So the manifestation workout works in 3 parts, and it's the same 3 sort of pillars of manifestation that you would learn about, in the law of attraction or The Secret or things like that. It's the same wisdom, but we're just taking that wisdom and we're putting it into the body in some way, so that you're quite literally manifesting it with the body, in the body.
Right.
So you want to be able to take ownership of that energy in a way that feels authentic to you. So the first step in the co-creative process is to ask for what you want. But in order to ask for what you want, you have to know what you want. And it really helps if you're super specific about what you want. So the first step is to sort of lull the conscious mind to sleep long enough for you to hear the whispers of wisdom from your higher self, from your future self, from the universe itself, because they're all the same thing. But you really want to sort of it's a rhythmic sort of meditation. It's a moving meditation, so that you can start to unlock some of those secrets living in the musculature, in the body, of where you want to be going. So you're really working on getting clarity around the goal. Once you have clarity on the goal, we start to move into the organizing phase, which is when, okay, I know what I want. I've asked for it. I put it out there. Now I just need to take the
Take
steps
those
every
steps.
single day to
Yeah.
get me a little bit closer. And I'm doing that in the spirit of, okay, I have this trajectory. I have this feeling of where I want to end up, but I have no idea how. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
just trusting that my precision and my dedication and my willingness to show
Mm-hmm.
up every single day with the
Mm-hmm.
same faith and the same understanding that what I want is also wanting me, that it's already there, that it already exists in,
Yeah.
another dimension.
Yeah.
I'm just aligning myself with that dimension.
Mm-hmm.
So that is represented by more strength movements and like a mat workouts. Basically, we're using the precision of the body to act as if, to act
Right.
in accordance, to move like that person who has built what
As
you're trying to build.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, what
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to build, excuse me. The third piece is my favorite, and that's the delivering phase. And that's when we get to feel nothing but utter gratitude and joy for already having achieved the thing, for already being complete and whole, for already being able to experience what we're experiencing, which is
Mm-hmm.
our highest destiny. And we
Mm-hmm.
do that with dance cardio. We let it all go. We approximate, or we what's the word I'm looking for? Excuse me. We generate the
Mm-hmm.
feeling in the body. So we're generating the physiological response of gratitude. And what kind of movements would you naturally sort of do if you were feeling, oh, heck yes, I got this
Yes.
thing? You'd be
Yes.
jumping out of your
Yes.
chair. You'd be
Yes.
throwing your arms in the air. You'd be screaming. You'd be shaking your head. Your heart rate would be pounding because you're feeling excited, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're feeling
Mm-hmm.
grateful and excited. So all that we're really doing is we are creating, we are alchemizing the physiological experience of
Right.
having the goal already.
Yes. I love
Mm-hmm.
that. I love that. And I definitely did feel that. Like I
Yeah.
definitely felt more powerful, more, in myself and my confidence, and was definitely visualizing who the person is,
Mm-hmm.
with the
Mm-hmm.
thing, and with your, guidance and hyping up, and like the music's going, and like your hair's going. Like I was like, this is amazing. Like it's such a great program. I just
Thank you.
got so off course, but like I said, I'm definitely going to give it another go with another thing to kind of focus on, because I
Mm-hmm.
just like it's for me, it was perfect as someone that is, practiced spiritual, and to combine that with the physical stuff. And it was also something a little different for me because I was at one time a competitive athlete. My movement has definitely changed a little bit, and I have really just been focusing on yoga. So that was a nice boost to what I already was kind of doing, but
Mm-hmm.
without really pushing my limit too much, like it was right in that
Yeah.
sweet spot. And yeah, it's so fantastic. So how does it actually, because now it's a membership, correct?
Yes. So the one that you participated in was like a 5-week course
Yeah.
that you buy once and then you have it forever.
Mm-hmm.
But I've transformed it into a membership because I really, really was both surprised. I'm both surprised and not surprised because
Yeah.
I've done this work with the subtle energy, but through this last year and people being more isolated and
Mm-hmm.
finding more space for feeling connected virtually,
Mm-hmm.
I discovered that when people gather and move together and breathe together and intend together, there is a palpable shift in the creative consciousness,
It's just
regardless of the
taking.
physical distance. Yes, it's very, very real. And
Yes.
so I wanted to create a space for
Mm-hmm.
us to gather and to work together and to
Yes.
hold space for each other's goals, because when somebody else hears your vibration, your trajectory, your intention.
Yeah.
And they then put that in their own cells and mix it with their own creation. When they succeed, they lift us up with them,
Yes.
right?
Yep. Yep.
So it's been so amazing to have this group of people who are dedicated to living their highest
Yeah.
destiny and living their
Yeah.
highest good and being of service to others by achieving that destiny.
That's so beautiful. That's so true too. Yeah. Like I love that it's now a community, and I think that's really important too, because I think that also will help with accountability and
Totally.
staying motivated and stuff
Totally.
like that. So
And we have a lot of little accountability, like little like Easter eggs in it and that are
yeah,
like really, really cool.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. So is there someone or something that was really kind of motivating you and inspiring you to really bring the manifestation workout to something?
So yes, I would say my Kundalini yoga teacher, Guru Jagat, she passed away in August, and it was a huge shock for the community
Yeah. Yeah.
because she was the kind of person who, when you just stood with her, you knew that she saw your potential.
Mhm.
She saw what you were here to give. She saw
Mhm.
your truest purpose and nothing else,
Yeah.
you know? And
100%.
so it was her who sort of uh she gave me her confidence in a way.
Mhm.
She gave
Mhm.
me the confidence to say, you can stay true to the teachings of Kundalini yoga. You can stay true to your, your creative process as a dancer,
Mhm.
and you can offer it in a way that is authentic, that other people will benefit from.
Yeah.
She sort of, I mean, not literally, she sort of quote unquote gave me permission to
Yes.
believe and understand that all parts of me could be valuable and useful.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
That's I definitely so I'm not fully in the Kundalini community, but I've got like my foot in the door.
Yeah.
And and I have watched a lot of her videos and stuff, and so I know exactly what you're talking about with feeling like she sees your magic and your essence and the potential that you have and stuff. So I'm really happy that that was, because I understand just from seeing her. So it makes
Yeah.
sense to me that she was that motivating force.
She
Um,
was.
so are you going to be planning on, I don't know what the restrictions are where you are, but I know you do offer retreats and stuff as well. So,
Yes. So the last retreat was before the pandemic.
right.
And I am in the process of manifesting, creating,
Yes.
gestating, and birthing the next sort of in-person experience.
Mhm.
So stay tuned.
Okay, awesome. I love that because yeah, it's like you said, that energy behind community, and I was literally just speaking about this last night with my mom about what it's like to be in community and be of service to others, and really kind of raise the frequency and raise the energy and stuff, especially now more than ever with how things have been going the past couple years, how important that sense of community is. So that's, I think, another reason too why I was drawn to this online kind of community that you had started with the first part of the course, was that it was like something online where I knew everybody else was going to be kind of manifesting something. And it just felt like such an exciting energy, to be in this place where we're all like, okay, are we going to all do this together? Are we going to all like put our ideas out there? So it's
Yeah.
so, so great. And are you still also doing the Kundalini teachings and stuff as well, like instructing and stuff
Yes.
like that?
So I teach on Rama TV,
Mhm.
which is free for the first, I think, 14 days. So, anybody who is interested in just trying like traditional Kundalini yoga, who has maybe not done it before or has not done it in a long
Can
time
you
or likes
explain
to
a
do
little
it.
bit for the listeners what Kundalini yoga is? Because again, I'm just kind of
Yes.
speaking to you like, because I'm looking at you and I know kind of the history and stuff. So let's kind of take a step back and explain a little bit exactly what Kundalini yoga is, because it is a little bit more
Yes.
focused on breath work and
So for anybody who is new to Kundalini yoga or interested in Kundalini yoga and kind of wanting to discover what it's all about, Kundalini yoga is we call it the yoga of awareness. And really, there are many modalities to sort of increase subtle awareness. Kundalini yoga is definitely not the only way to do it, but it's the only yoga that I know of that uses all of the pillars, sort of all of the access points of this human incarnation to increase that subtle awareness. And what I mean by that is we use the asana, we use the postures of the body, we use the pranayam, we use the breath, we use the mental focus, the meditation, and the focus of the eyes. So it's sort of a comprehensive yoga in that way, in that we're using all of the pieces that we have access to in order to increase that awareness. And the result, or at least my experience of the result, has been you can get to those states of awareness, of subtle awareness, faster. So Kundalini yoga is the fastest way that I know to increase that subtle awareness. But it is definitely not the only way, that's for sure.
So you still are teaching it, you said, as well?
Yes. So I teach online. Actually, the Venice studio has moved. We're moving up to Santa Monica. So there actually are live classes in Santa Monica. Cool. But, for listeners around the world and in Barrie, Ontario, and in Trinidad and in Hawaii, you can join on ramatv.com, rama-tv.com. Yeah.
I love that. So just, I know that you've got the kids and stuff, just to kind of wrap up our little chat. Like, I was just curious, when your manifestations happen and show up, and how do you celebrate that? Like, what do you do for yourself to kind of, celebrate that you did the thing and you made it happen?
That's such a good question, because I feel like the cycle of manifestation, you have to be willing to enjoy what you've created.
Yeah.
You can't just, otherwise it never feels complete. Like it never feels like you actually finished the thing. So I keep a little manifestation journal that is filled with things that are big and small. So, if it's as small as, and this was one of the most recent sort of benefits or fruits of my labor, is I was cleaning my son's room. And normally when I'm cleaning my son's room, I'm feeling like, oh, I have to do this again. I'm cleaning the room again. Like, how did it get messy again? But I caught myself going, wow, I get to clean my son's room. And it wasn't forced. It was completely spontaneous.
Natural.
It was completely natural. It felt totally authentic. And then I stopped myself and I was like, wow, that is a 180, and that is a win, and that is a victory. So I write everything down in a little journal so that I don't forget how powerful I am. I don't forget that even the small things really are big things.
Yes. Yeah. I love what you said too, because language is so important. And I've really been mindful of that, especially this year, is like keeping track of how I word things. If I start to kind of go the negative way, I'm like, wait a minute, no, back to the positive way of thinking and stuff. So I love that though. Manifestation journal. I'm going to totally
definitely do it. It can be a little notepad. It could even just be like notes on your phone.
That might be something you should offer in the course for everyone else.
Look at you.
Like, I would
the consummate entrepreneur, you.
Right? Like, I think that would be so cool, because that's also kind of my thing that I think sometimes maybe stops me from not manifesting, but is not recognizing, like, I did this and made it happen. And so I love the idea of recording it, and so oh my God,
it's the peanut gallery over here.
I love it.
But I do actually want to make sure I say this, because it is the piece that it's confirmed by the teachings and the practice and the lineage of Kundalini yoga, that the sound of your own voice, the sound of our own voice, is the most powerful tool that we have to create change.
I remember you saying this in the course. Yes, yes. Yeah.
So when you're talking about really watching what you're saying and being mindful of those words and really deeply listening to ourselves, what we say and how we say it, and falling in love with that sound, we can create massive change in a remarkable amount of time, with almost zero effort.
Right.
Next to zero effort.
Yeah.
If we can really listen to your sound current and listen to how we are, what kind of waves of energy we are generating and sending out, because those waves go on into infinity. You know, they don't stop. They just encounter other waves.
Yes.
And then, you know, morph.
I love that. So share also for the listeners where everyone can find you and where they can get connected with you as well.
Yeah, so I am Joie Lilikoi, JoiLilikoi, on Instagram and TikTok. And to be honest, I'm not on TikTok all that much anymore either, but I am there, and you can find a lot of really fun, kind of pithy, you know, yoga teachings on there. And then the website is We Are Haumea. So the words We Are and then HAUMEA, wearehaumea.com. And that's where you can find info on the manifestation workout and try a free class. I offer a community class once a month. And Eddie is ready to have his interview now.
So cute. I'll make sure that I include all the links and everything and all the little description boxes and all that fun stuff. But I'm so grateful that I was able to sit down and chat with you and with your kids as well.
Thank you.
You've just been such an inspiration. And I hope that you know how important your energy is to the collective, and even on a silly platform like Instagram or something, because it's just, you share such beautiful energy, and it's really refreshing and really nice to see and help stay in that high vibrational space with what you share. So I really appreciate that. And thanks so much again for taking
and all the same right back at you. I hope you know how much of a shining light you are on my feed as well. And we are manifesting you coming to LA, because clearly we need to sit down and have tea.
Absolutely. Like I was literally in my head as we're chatting, I'm like mental synchronicity the whole time. So yeah, absolutely. That'll be my next manifestation for when I try the workout again, for sure.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. This was
My
amazing.
pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Okay.
Talk soon.
Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening, my darlings. I hope this episode filled your soul with all the feel-good vibes. I would love to connect deeper with you about this episode, so please feel free to find Connected in the Den on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and we can chat more about our elevation journey together. If this episode did bring you all the feels, I would love so much if you shared it with your people. Leave me a review, add the podcast to your favorites, or subscribe to the channel, all the things to help us stay connected. And if you do post it on your platforms, please don't forget to tag us. I am so blessed and so grateful to have you here, and I'm sending you all the love and massive virtual hugs. We have a lot to explore, and I look forward to sharing our next chat here on Connected in the Den.